Well, I'm back at the motorcycle shop for about the 7th or 8th time. Every time I come here to pick up the motorcycle, it's either not done or I take it out for a test drive and the bike dies on me. And we got stranded on the side of the road and they had to send a tow truck. So they tell me again it should be done. I'm out almost 3 weeks now in Cali, so hopefully it's finished. We'll find out. I'm gonna go for a test ride right now, and if all works, I can get out here tomorrow. If not, I may be stuck here for another few days. Just to give you a little background, my motorcycle had been burning oil, and I found a motorcycle shop in Cali that can deal with the damage. The damage was that I needed a new piston, new rings, and I needed some cylinder work done. They promised me they could do it in a few days, and unfortunately that turned into quite a long period of time. Each time they told me the motorcycle was finished, I would take it out on a test drive, and the motorcycle would die on me due to overheating. Unfortunately, every time they took it out on a test drive, they said it was fine. So eventually I told the service manager to go on a test ride with me to see what would happen. And of course, the inevitable did. Is the problem. Oh, kickstand?
Yeah.
I'm in the back of a taxi, and just to give you a little overview, I've been in the city of Cali for over a month now. I originally stopped here for 2 to 3 days because I found a motorcycle shop that said they could fix my motorcycle, and the original quote I was given is that it would take 2 to 3 days to repair. Now, I have picked up the motorcycle no less than 7 times now. Once, the gas line was resting on the engine. It ate through the gas line and started pouring gasoline all over the engine while I was driving. I almost caught on fire. Another time, I picked up the motorcycle and they had forgotten to brace the tank, and the tank almost fell off on me. There was one time I picked up the motorcycle and got about 10 kilometers and the motorcycle died and they had to send a tow truck out to me. Once I took the service manager out on a ride to show him what the problem was with the motorcycle, and of course the motorcycle died. At this point, he's had it for a month, and it's a nice motorcycle shop, but I am not having a good experience here. In the meantime, I have made a few small videos of what I've been doing with my time here in Cali, so I'm going to show you those real quick, but at this point, I really need my motorcycle because I have to continue this adventure. I've got to paraglide and do some other things while I'm here, but I need to get on the motor again. So watch these few clips and I will let you know when we're back at the motorcycle shop. Do you see this man on this bicycle? This man is the night watchman. So every neighborhood has a park. And if you can see this little tiny house in the park, It's actually just kind of a shack, not even enough for a bed, just a seat. And this man will go do neighborhood errands and things like that. The guy on the bicycle right here, he will go do neighborhood errands and he will feed the cats and he feed the dogs and he watches the park at night and during the day, and that's his job. And the neighborhood will give him food or money to run errands or things like that. And every neighborhood that has a park like this has a night watchman, and the neighborhood takes care of the night watchman, not the city. So they give him a bike and they give him errands to do, and then they'll pay him, and that's his job. It's a good job for a retiree who wants to watch a park and to keep it safe. And he also watches pretty much the entire neighborhood. So what do you do when you're bored in Cali? Well, you walk around for miles each day just looking for things to do. Today I found the recreation center, and it's an absolutely huge complex. Here they have soccer fields, baseball diamonds, they have an aquatic center, a martial arts center, tennis courts, and I even saw some people with hockey sticks. Although I didn't see a rink, I feel like it's probably going to be field hockey. It's a little too warm here for ice hockey. Anyway, this is what you do when you're bored in Cali. I got to get out of this town. And it's now time to pack up the bike. So let me walk you through this here. While I'm packing up the bike, I might as well show you how I'm holding the paramotor onto the motorcycle, because the way I'm doing it is actually kind of unique. It's very custom. And you can only do it with this particular model. You'd have to make a totally different rack if you had the tank underneath the frame. But let me show you how this works and why it's so much better than a trailer. So first let me explain the weight that I'm putting on the back and why I have to be careful about the amount of weight. And that's because this motorcycle is really not even made to carry passengers, because the subframe is aluminum. It's this pipe here. And it's not very thick. It goes all the way up underneath the motorcycle. And you can see this is the subframe of the motorcycle here. So you can see that these steel brackets were added later, and I added these in, these steel brackets, and they come with the tusk pannier system. So I bought the tusk pannier system because they support and reinforce the subframe with steel. On top of that, there is the tusk rack rather, but I've replaced the tusk rack with a custom-made steel plate that is created just to hold the paramotor. Now let me go to the other side so you can kind of see how the paramotor is held on. So on all paramotors you have these vibration bushings, and those are right here. And those bushings, those engine mounts, hold the engine itself to the paramotor frame. So what I've done is, you can see that bracket underneath. I'm actually resting the engine on those mounts right there, those engine mounts. And I do that on both sides. And then underneath the engine, I have a bracket to hold the engine itself. And so that bracket right there, which Carlos came up with, actually holds the engine. So we have the engine being held, and we have the motor mounts being held. And then I tie those down and I hold it down. And then on the tank, I hold the tank to the bracket itself, so it's not going anywhere. We could move this engine all we wanted to, and we would just pull the bike over. It's not going anywhere. So it's a very good way to hold everything very low. Now, I am very fortunate because the Evo frame has a tank that is built into the frame. And so if you have a tank that hangs underneath your engine, something like this wouldn't work. Your engine would actually be a lot higher. But because I can do this, I can actually bring the tank way low, the engine way low, and I'm only clearing that bracket by about an inch or so. So anyway, that's how I hold the paramotor onto the motorcycle. Okay, and then once I pack everything up and put the panniers on, you can see that I keep the tarp fairly taut because it's kind of important you can see my license plate. Also, the exhaust is free and it's not going to hit anything. There is also a heat shield up underneath here, and that's to keep the wing from getting too hot. I've had to add this LED here because you can't really see my brake light, and this LED not only does brake, but it also does turn signals, just in case you can't see my turn signals. So anyway, that is fully loaded, and that's how we travel. Well, I'm back in Tallulah. I thought I'd kill some time while I'm waiting for the motorcycle to get finished. Behind me, you can see that there is a group of some sort of tribe, and we are in the middle of the town square. You can see by the Tallulah sign behind me. And they're running a protest. They're heading to the mayor's office, which is also on the town square, which is kind of normal in small towns here, to protest against something so the mayor can hear them. Anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting and I wanted to share it with you. All right, so I'm in one of those Jeep taxis. I actually chose one that's pretty empty because when they're full, they are packed full. In fact, people are hanging out the back just to be able to hang on to this thing because it gets so full because there's no seats left. But people will like 5 or 6 hanging onto the back. Anyway, here's what it's like. Well, I'm in Cali, and they say that Cali has the worst neighborhoods in all of Colombia. And what I mean by that is, well, the most dangerous. So I decided to come up to the barrios and to see what they were like. So I found a family that has a ton of kids, and they are living in a bamboo house. And here it is. I'm not really going to show you the inside of the house because I kind of don't want to embarrass them. So I brought them some groceries and a few other things. But yeah, it's definitely dangerous up here. In fact, I can't go too far alone. But I thought I would experience it. I've experienced it in most of the cities I've gone in, although I haven't put it on video. But I thought this would go on video. I'm not sure why, but I thought you would want to see what the living conditions were in the barrio. It's basically dirt floors, bamboo walls, and they use blankets on the floor to sleep, and of course they don't have a refrigerator and those kind of things, so a little hard life, but it makes you value what you do have. And anyway, but oddly, the higher up the houses, the more poor they get, but they get the better view of the city. The answer as to whether or not we can pick up the motorcycle today? Nope.